Mr. Colley.
Thank you all for being here. We really do appreciate it. And at this time, we're going to recognize some of our Trailblazers. As Donald mentioned, everyone here is, if not the first, then among the first to come through their sport. And that feat alone is something worth acknowledging. This is a part of our 50th anniversary celebration, and in February we had some of the first students who were here. Some of them were student athletes as well, and to hear from them, learn about their experiences, and just give them their just due for all they have done for us, whether they knew it or not, is a very special thing for us to do as a university. And so, in thinking of what we're going to do tonight and thinking of the length of the program and what would be appropriate, here is how we've decided to do it, and hopefully you'll find it to be an enjoyable experience as well. We have the names of all of our honorees listed in the program, and I'm going to read them here in just a few minutes. But what we're also going to do is call up each of those who were able to attend. We have some honorees who couldn't make it back to Texas. We have some who are in trial this week, some who were in residency and couldn't get off from the hospital. And so, although we are going to acknowledge them here today, we're going to spend a little bit more time here speaking about the ones who are present with us here today. And then after that, we're going to have reflections from some of our later winners. So you're not going to hear individual award speeches. I apologize. But again, we're trying to be cognizant of our time, and we feel that the people we've selected to speak before you today will be able to impart a lot of wisdom and thoughts about this event and the people who we're honoring today. So what I'll do now is read the names of everyone who is being honored, and we can collectively applaud them and thank them for what they've done, and then we'll go through the individuals who are actually here with us today. As you see in your programs for football, Staley Vincent, the late Mike Tyler, and Rodrigo Barnes, our first African American students in football. They all came in together as a class and have remained close throughout their years. Men's basketball, Leroy Marion and Coach Willis Wilson. And perhaps you're wondering why we have a coach on there as well, but as many of you know, Coach Wilson is our first and unfortunately perhaps only African American head coach that we've had in Rice's history, so we felt it appropriate to honor him tonight. Men's track, Joseph Callier and Daryl Dot King. As Don mentioned earlier, there were students who came and did not graduate or didn't stay for a long time, and we appreciate their efforts and we appreciate what they've done, and so we don't want to overlook them, but those two individuals came, they ran track, they excelled as student athletes, and they're alumni here today, so those are the two individuals we'll be recognizing for men's track. Women's track, Lynn Freeman. Volleyball, Denise Bostic. Women's basketball, Gordon Qualls. Women's tennis, Luana Hadnot. Men's tennis, Don Freeman. Baseball, Merritt Robinson. Soccer, Rafi Belizaire. And swimming, Lauren Lewis. So if we could just give them a round of applause. So right now we're going to recognize those individuals who were able to make it, and instead of the speeches, we have a really quick bio about them, and then we have sort of a comment from them about what this milestone means to them individually. First, Staley Vincent, and the way we'll do this, I should have given instructions, I'm supposed to know that, all right? So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to read a very brief bio about you, then ask you to come up and receive your proclamation from President Lebron, as well as the athletics department, Joe Hallgart, just recognizing your accomplishment. We'll take a brief photo here, and then we'll proceed to the next individual. So let me read your bio first. Okay, Staley Vincent is from Greensboro, North Carolina. He competed in football from 1968 to 1971. He graduated in 1972 with a degree in commerce. While as an athlete here, he was an all-Southwestern Conference academic team, first team all-Southwest Conference, and had the single-season rushing record. He's also in the Rice Athletic Hall of Fame. He's currently the Director of Human Resources in the International Textile Group. He lives in Greensboro, North Carolina, and he considers himself to be the elder statesman and representative of the history of Rice football. And he encourages all, he's modest, he really is. And he encourages all letter winners to be proud of their association with Rice Athletics, because it takes a special individual to successfully compete academically and athletically at Rice University. Stay. Next we have the late Mike Tyler, who's originally from Waco, Texas. Came to Rice from 1968 to 72 and graduated in 1972. Was an all-Southwestern Conference defensive back, drafted by the Detroit Lions, and was the first in his class of those 3 African-American football players to sign his letter of intent. When I asked Mike's lovely wife about Mike and how he felt about Rice, she simply told me Mike loved being a Rice Owl. If you all would welcome with me Mike Tyler's wife, Lola Tyler. Next up is Coach Willis Wilson, who is originally from Silver Springs, Maryland. He played basketball at Rice from 1978 to 82. He graduated in 1982 with a degree in political science and came back to serve as an assistant coach. In 1992, he was hired as the men's head basketball coach, where he remained until 2008. As head coach, he is the first and only black coach in Rice's history, head coach in Rice's history. He has the most wins of any Rice men's basketball coach, and was named the District 9 Coach of the Year. He's now head coach at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, which is coming off its 2nd most successful season in school's history. And he was recently selected as a finalist for the 2016 Ben Jobe Award, which is given to the top minority men's basketball coach in Division I, and he will be finding out if he wins over the course of the weekend. Please welcome Coach. Next, we have Joseph Callier, men's track, hometown Houston, Texas. Competed from the 1973 to 76 seasons. Graduated with a degree in political science and psychology. He was the first African-American president of the ARUBA Association. He currently resides in Kingwood, Texas, and his legacy to Rice, he believes, is that when he was with the ARUBA Association leading that organization, the Scholar Athlete Awards was started. And as a student who came during the early 1970s and graduated with a few support groups on campus, he thinks it's very important for our current student athletes to succeed, have support, and strive to have your name as a scholar athlete.
Yes, sir. So I'll pick up next with Darryl Doc King, also in men's track. Hometown is Morristown, New Jersey. Competed from 1975 to 1979. Graduated with a BA in Economics and Managerial Studies. He's one of those faces that you see on the wall here for many championships. Southwest Conference 3-time high hurdles champion, and also a member of the Athletic Hall of Fame. He still holds Rice University school record in the 110 high hurdles. 37 years later. Wow. Yes. He spent 32 years working in a career in corporate America in IT. Entered the seminary in 2012 and is currently a pastor at Lake Norman Baptist Church, where he resides in Cornelius, North Carolina. When asked what does it mean to be a trailblazer and what legacy do you hope to leave for current and future Rice athletes, Doc says to be recognized as a trailblazer is truly an honor. To know that some type of mark has been made by me is humbling. I came to Rice to get the best education I could, to enjoy my time with other students, and if athletics worked out, that was an added blessing. I was fortunate to enjoy success in all three while a student at Rice. To current and future Rice student athletes, I will simply say, enjoy the journey, embrace the moments, enhance your future. Rice University gives you that opportunity. Next up is Goya Falls, women's basketball. She competed at Rice from 1978 to 1982, hails from Red Bank, New Jersey, and earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree upon her graduation. Some of her notable athletic accomplishments were she was team captain, MVP, rebounding record holder, and most importantly, she was a dependable teammate. Currently, she's the co-owner of Dandy Candy, and they print full-color images on chocolate candy. Don't tell this group that, please. And resides here in Houston. When asked what does it mean to be recognized as a trailblazer, again, she joins many others in saying, I never thought of myself as a trailblazer, but I was and will always be the first scholarship women's basketball player at Rice. I enjoyed my time at Rice, but it was not without difficulty, especially when dealing with racism from some classmates, competitors, and teammates. But I did not let that stop me from achieving my goal of getting a degree from one of the top-ranked schools in the country. So to be recognized as a trailblazer is truly an honor and a blessing. And for current and future Rice students, I hope that the legacy that we leave for hard work and determination and mutual respect will guide you. Goya Falls. We had another one of our honorees who had to leave a little early, so she won't be able to come up and receive her award, but we wanted to acknowledge her comments that she shared. And that was Juana Hadnot in women's tennis. Many of you know Juana as a 4-year letter winner, graduated in 1984 with a degree in managerial studies, and went on to get a master's degree at the University of Texas. One of her most notable athletic accomplishments was reaching top 20 status, and then also serving as team captain and co-team captain in 1984. She's currently a human resources leader in the energy industry and resides here in Houston. When asked what does it mean to be recognized as a trailblazer, again, didn't think of myself as a trailblazer. But looking back on it now, she acknowledges that she was able to help change Rice and help usher in a new era of diversity that students today continue to benefit from. And she continues to benefit from the relationships that she forged. It never occurred to her at the time that her roommates didn't grow up in integrated neighborhoods, yet they were all living together, working together, changing the world one person at a time. The legacy that she hopes to leave for current and future Rice student athletes is that that is important, because how you act and how you perform creates pathways for others to follow. That she has been purposeful in supporting local and national charities that bring tennis and golf to public schools and parks. Further, I've continued to help lead fundraising for women's sports during my 15-year involvement with the Women's Athletic Advisory Board at Rice. So she's not here with us, but let's give her a round of applause for her. Lastly, this one is really special to me because it's actually one of my teammates. And when we came to the conclusion that he was a trailblazer, I think he and I both were surprised. But from Inglewood, California, Merritt Robinson came to Rice in 1986, was a 3-year letterman in football and baseball. Graduated in 1990 with a degree in managerial studies. When asked about his most memorable athletic accomplishments, he acknowledged being coached by the infamous Tyrone Willingham as a great learning experience. That's not what I call it. And also being blessed to participate in 2 Division I sports during his entire time at Rice, and that included scoring a touchdown against University of Texas. He currently works at the California Baptist University as the Assistant Dean of Enrollment Services and lives in Rancho Cucamonga, California. When asked about being recognized as a trailblazer and his legacy, again, he never thought of himself as a trailblazer, just wanted an opportunity to get an education at a great institution like Rice and play 2 sports that I dearly love. I hope that current and future Rice student athletes realize that God will provide opportunities to succeed, but you must take full advantage of those opportunities. Never waste an opportunity to reach your maximum potential. Merritt Robinson. It's not for me to talk, but I have one more thing I want to say. When sometimes you're not supposed to mix your faith with your professional life, but I can't help but think about Hebrews chapter 12, which says, when you're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, that you have to run your race with endurance.
Yes.
And these are those trailblazers, those people who come before us that are the witnesses that encourage the rest of us as those who are following in that path to stay strong and to keep our journey. And so we just thank you again as trailblazers for everything that you have done and how it inspires and motivates us. Thank you.
Well done.
Everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, I want to thank God for my space here this evening. I want to say hello to the Rice family. Since the group of owls is called a parliament, I guess I would be correct in addressing this group of gathering Rice Owl Parliament. Hello. I want to extend special kudos to Monique, Akila, Angela, Donald, Daniel, and others for their efforts in putting these special programs together, commemorating 50 years of integration at Rice, and especially this program this evening. Now, you have to pardon me for reading my notes, because you notice that Akila said brief. She also put a time limit on it, and I'm going to try to get through before she stands up on it. But sitting in the airport on Thursday morning on my way down here, it dawned on me that I'm one of the 2 remaining original 4. And I wanted to give a special shout out to 2 of them. Leroy Marin Jr., who was my roommate, the first black basketball player, and Mike Tyler, who was basically the primary reason why I came to Rice University. He and I became instant friends, and we remain friends even today, because they're not here physically, but their spirit will be with me forever. However, my Rice experience came close to premature end. I had 4 goals when I decided that I was going to go to college. One was to get a business degree, graduate in 4 years, experience life, and play quarterback on the Division I level. Coming to Rice was pretty much a no-brainer for me, because all I was looking for was an opportunity. Knowing that Rice had an excellent academic reputation, I was told by a coach that I really felt confident in that I would be given an equal opportunity to compete. That's all I wanted, no special favors or whatever. And things started out pretty much as most college students' careers start out. Freshman year is pretty rough. Transition period. Now I'm 1,224 miles from home, so I couldn't run home and whenever anything didn't work out fine for me. But it helped me to grow up to some extent. Now, going into my sophomore year was the year of the first. The first one, they didn't really know what to call us. 1 week we're Negro, 1 week we're Black. First this, first that. I really thought that I had created a new position. Now I was the first Negro, first Black. Normally they're running quarterbacks, passing quarterbacks, but I was the first. All I wanted to do was play. Okay, so for me, the first game of my sophomore year was the biggest game for me, despite the fact that it was the first. Well, my sophomore year really got off to somewhat of a rocky start, team-wise, because we lost 3 of our first 4 games, 3 games we should have won. Wasn't used to losing, wasn't used to guys not really playing as hard as they could play. Then I had an arm injury, which really jeopardized my career as a quarterback. So needless to say, I was pretty much down and out. Now, aside from that, you know, we had to deal with being the only one in class. Professors obviously did not appreciate the fact that we were in class, changed their whole syllabus curriculum. Now, you know, you go to the libraries, the dorms, and the colleges, and you can see tests 10, 15, and none of them have changed. So you're going to study for a test, you go to the library, there are the tests. Well, boom, show up in the classroom, whoa, this is not what we had before. Some of you think my class is easy, but it's not going to be easy. Some of you, which meant, because I was in there. So needless to say, it was difficult. Now I went to an all-black high school, not predominantly black, all black. And my high school, where the faculty, staff, and student body was nurturing and supportive. And suddenly I was thrust into an environment where it was sink or swim. You know, you're on your own, buddy, good luck. Good luck. You know, it was to the point where I never met my academic advisor. I set up a meeting with him, he's not here. So I don't know who signed my drop ad slips. He might have, I never met him. So you can see where, you know, the bond that was formed with Rodrigo and Mike and Leroy and several others were critical for us to be able to survive our first year and a half at Rice. I thought I could find some relief on the field, you know. Everybody talk about, you know, the sanctuary between the lines. And I did to a certain extent, but I posed a threat to the status quo. And here I am, a non-Texan, and of course now football wasn't created in Texas. You guys think you perfected it, right? So here I am outperforming some of Texas' finest, and here's someone who didn't look like them. I had coaches who reacted in not so positive of a manner in dealing with the situation. So after losing those games, like I mentioned, and dealing with an arm injury, I was ready to get out of here. I said, let me finish this semester, and Rice University will be something that will be a thing of the past. But you know, God has a way of putting speed bumps in your path. And up to that point, I had tunnel vision. I was going at warp speed somewhere, didn't know where, but I was wide open. Not sure what I was going to do, very frustrated. Then I started getting letters. And there are a lot of small towns in Texas. And I started getting letters from athletes, teachers, and administrators congratulating me on my accomplishments. Right? I thought I hadn't accomplished anything, right? Just dealing with college as a college student. The things that moved me the most were the letters I got from student athletes saying, you know, you make it cool to be a good student and the athlete as well. I thought, whoa. Then I realized that this was not just about me. And because of that, I was able to put my Rice experience in a proper perspective, and I really had a chance to enjoy my junior and senior year. And as I graduated, I was able to accomplish my goals. Now, I was drafted by the Steelers, And I was very proud of the fact that Super Bowl VIII in 1974 was played right behind me in Rice Stadium. And it was a game that I attended. Now on the downside, that'll be the last time we set foot on Rice campus in 1997. For whatever reason, my relationship with the athletic department turned sour. All of my efforts to stay connected to the program were either ignored or rejected. So over time, my trial separation from Rice became a full-blown divorce. Now in 1995, and I do remember this year, my sons and I were watching a documentary on professional football preseason training camps. We showed rookies singing at mealtime. My son asked if I had to sing Rice's alma mater before dinner. I said no, and thank goodness I didn't, for two primary reasons. One, I know I can't sing, and the other, because I didn't know the words. So later I thought, this is not good. I need to get back into the loop, and I did. So then I increased the frequency of my contact with Mike Tyler, Ed Collins, and Joe Buck, who's one of my suite mates, which opened up communication channels to many others. I attended homecoming in '97, which is almost 25 years from graduation and 23 years since I've been on campus, and felt like I had only been away 4 weeks and not years. It was a great feeling. The highlight of my reconnection effort was the weekend of my induction to the Rice Hall of Fame, because of a considerable number of teammates and classmates who attended that event in supporting me. Now, as an elder statesman of this group, by default, I would say, I'm in a position to offer guidance and advice. Now, as I mentioned in my comments as it relates to the earlier recognition, it's hard being a student here. It's hard being an athlete on the Division I level. So it's doubly hard being a student athlete at Rice University. So I would ask all of us to take advantage of every opportunity to reestablish old relationships, maintain current relationships, and foster new relationships in events like this. This is a beautiful sight to see all of us here together this evening. And especially offer support to the current group of Rice athletes. For those of us who graduated, we know what they're going through. Okay? So, in summing it up, don't be a dropout like I was. Stay connected. Oh, and one last question. Do you know the words?
Good evening. I hope everybody's having a wonderful time. I tell you, Angela and Akil and Donald, Monique, thank you. ARUBA, thank you for putting this event on. This is absolutely magnificent. You truly have created the connection for me and for so many others to really feel warm and good about the experience that we had here at Rice University. I will say this, the only thing worse than somebody coming to the podium without a speech is somebody that comes without a speech written. And so you're gonna have to bear with me. As an old coach, you might have to stand up and flag me down, because coaches tend to get going. And we're probably the originators of the original filibuster, but I really am humbled and honored to be here. I'm gonna jump around a little bit, but I'll try to be concise and hopefully I can make a point. I was gonna make a joke and say that I was a trailblazer, but that's really not true. I didn't think of myself in that regard. I really came here because my parents said that if you get a great education, it's gonna last you a lifetime. It's the only thing that people can never take away from you, is an education. And so I made a decision to go 1,600 miles away from home, Washington, D.C. area, Silver Spring. And I grew up in a family, my parents were both, had gone to historically black colleges. My brother and sisters had done the same thing. Growing up as a youngster, went to an all-black school in elementary school, and subsequently in the late 60s, early 70s, when busing occurred, went to an integrated school, and happened to be not unlike you, Staley, the first of just a few black students in all white schools. And it was an interesting experience. It was really unique. By the time I got to high school, I had the distinction and honor to go to Montgomery Blair High School, which is at that time arguably the most diverse high school in the United States. What was really unique to me growing up, I was a pretty good student. To go to Rice, you had to be a pretty good student. I wouldn't say that I was the best student there ever was, but I was good enough to attend Rice University. And in high school, the most interesting thing, there was a feeling of just this awkwardness. On the playgrounds that I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, there was nobody like me. I never really fit in. There were a lot of great basketball players and a lot of guys I really admired and came to really respect, but they really weren't like me. And in the classrooms, in the physics class, and the trigonometry class, and the chemistry class, there was nobody like me either. There were a lot of good students, but there was really nobody like me. And the first time that I ever really felt comfortable with being smart, with being black, relative to basketball and education, was when I came to Rice. It was the first time that there were people like me, people that were really sincere about getting an education and playing sports and doing it at a high level. And certainly it wasn't the easiest thing to experience, but it was very rewarding and very fruitful. I ran into somebody that will remain nameless, but it's a former classmate of mine and several other people in this room just recently. And he and his wife, we had this conversation about our experience at Rice, and he said something that was striking. He said, "I would not have wished my experience at Rice on my worst enemy." And oddly enough, I've said that thousands of times. But I will say this, to know what I know today, I would gladly go through it again. And I think that's the significance of Rice. The greatest thing that I learned and took away from Rice was learning how to learning how to grow, learning how to articulate, and learning how to get along with people and get a consensus so that I could be successful in life and that others could be successful in life. And so it was an empowering experience. There are a lot of faces in this room, and people that, like Charlie Taylor, that I really want to thank. I remember the days going up to Sid Rich to watch Monday Night Football, and guys were sitting around playing dominoes. I didn't know what a domino was back in those days. Charlie can testify to that. But just guys that were welcoming, guys that really were great role models and great examples for me. Guys like Carlton Derrick and Michael Downs and Elbert Darden, who was a senior my freshman year on the basketball team. When I graduated from Rice in 1982, I was the fourth black basketball player to finish his eligibility and get a degree from Rice University. That really was not that long ago. And so to